first join Scientology?
Good question. Around about 1987 it was.
Yeah.
My brother got into it first, and then my ex-wife got into it. And when you've got family members doing it, it doesn't seem like it's such a bad thing, no matter what you might have heard. Your family are doing it, and they're speaking highly of it, so your defences go down to some degree, you know.
Yeah.
So yeah, it was around about springtime in 1987 that I first got involved.
Yeah. So you joined because of your family?
Basically, yeah. And also, like what they do, like, I know a lot of people wonder how anyone can be so stupid as to get sucked in. But what they do, they're experts at actually getting people in. They spend time working out the best ways to do it. And the way they do it is they call it ruin finding, in that they find a person and then they get the person to talk about themselves until they expose what they would call a ruin, or it could be whatever it is that's ruining your life. In other words, like, I don't know, for a teenage guy it might be that he can't talk to girls, or something simple as that.
Yeah.
For a working person it might be that they can't make enough money, that they spend too much, they spend more than they earn. But whatever it is, they have a solution. And that's how they get you. Now with me, I went along and did the personality test, and obviously every personality is flawed according to them. But like, they sold me on the idea that I could improve. And I think we all would agree that we can improve. And they seem, like, I'd read the book as well, I'd read the Dynamics book as well, so I kind of knew that it was all about the mind and improving yourself and being the best you could be, I suppose, is the best way to describe it. So, in the hope that I would improve using their techniques, that's why I got in. But that's how easy it is to get sucked in. They just convince you that they've got answers, and before you know it, you're in. You don't consciously join. And another thing as well, you don't find anything that would put you off. The people are friendly because they actually believe what they're doing, so they're not knowingly conning you, even though they are. You don't find cult things that would scare you and put you off. It's all very reasonable and rational. And I think the actor Jason Begay said it best of all: you accept because you can't find anything unacceptable. So that's how easy it is to get suckered in.
So, what were your first thoughts on Scientology when you joined?
I thought it was fantastic. I'll be honest with you, I thought it was fantastic. I'd read the book Dynetics about how there was this modern science of mental health. I don't know how they can still call it that when you think it came out in 1950. And it seriously is a bit like 1950s sci-fi movies. But I read how you're held back by this unconscious portion of your mind. I thought, that seems reasonable. And if you do this Dynetics processing, that you will come to understand your reactive mind and basically get rid of all the negative emotions and things that your mind has stored up. And if you do that, you become more and more yourself, and more intelligent, and more active, and all the positive things. So that's what basically got me in. But when I tried it, I found, we discussed an incident where somebody I knew had kind of lost their life in a tragic accident. And by talking about this, I felt a lot of relief from what you have to say were negative emotions. And to feel the relief of that and this light-hearted feeling. Now what I see now is that I was probably hypnotized in some way. But at the time it felt great, Imagine if you can free yourself up from all your upsets. So yeah, definitely. It seemed positive. It seemed to be working. So my initial reaction was that it was fantastic.
How were you treated?
Same again. Everyone was wonderful. Everyone was very, very friendly. You couldn't put a finger on anything. You couldn't say that it was bad. Your suspicions were all, laid to rest because everyone was just so nice because they believe what they're doing. It was great in the early days. It got kind of terrible as time went on. definitely in the initial stages, yeah, absolutely fantastic.
Yeah. So as time went on, did your treatment change, or?
It certainly did. It certainly did. First of all, I did a lot of training with them. I did the highest executive level training that Scientology has to offer. And then what happened was my ex-wife was told that she couldn't be on staff anymore because she'd worked as a psychiatric nurse, and of course, you know, they're dead against psychiatry. So she was suddenly no longer a staff member, and I thought, well, okay, things aren't going really well here, you know. It's starting to get a little bit jaded, so if she's leaving, I'm going to leave as well. And as soon as I said that, the whole attitude changed. From being somebody that they had great hope for, suddenly I was treated like a traitor, you know.
Yeah.
It was like, whoa, you know, this guy, whoa, no. So it was like a complete about face. I saw the other side, you know, at that point, definitely.
So, can you tell me about like the teachings of Scientology, like from what you learned when you were there?
Well, it's all very simple stuff, and Hubbard himself said that there's nothing in Scientology that you don't already know, which is kind of an interesting statement to make, because you kind of do know all this stuff. It is like basic common sense, in what, you know, spelled out for the dummies. You know, it really is. It really is that simple. The interesting thing is, like, they say it's not a belief system, it's all about knowing. And they say it's knowing how to know. And you don't have to believe it, you just see for yourself whether it works or not. That's actually a very clever trap, because you have to believe that you know that it works. And it's a belief system, it's a belief system based on knowing. But the evidence for that knowledge doesn't exist. When you actually apply tests to it, you find out that it doesn't exist, it's not there. So you walk around believing that you know this stuff and it's helping you every day in your life, and it actually isn't. I don't know any I know one or two Scientologists that are quite effective in life, but they were like that anyway. And most Scientologists are actually struggling and having a really hard time. Did I answer what you asked me there, or did I get sidetracked?
I think you answered.
Yeah. What was the question though? Can you remember the question again?
It was about teaching.
Oh yeah. Okay, so this is what I wanted to say. The basic simple thing in Scientology is this, that we're all immortal spiritual beings with unlimited potential, and by doing Scientology courses and processing, you unleash your true potential. And you do it by stages, and like you can't like take shortcuts. It's not like snakes and ladders, although it is in real life. You actually have to go up step by step by step, and you know, that's the only way to do it. The sad thing is, of course, that once you've done the whole lot, you know better off than you were when you first started.
Yeah. So what stage did you reach?
About halfway, I'd have to say. Like, it's all numbered. I mean, I got as far as grade 2 and then I stopped. But you're trying to achieve a state called clear, which according to them is when you no longer have your reactive mind. Now there's a thing in Scientology which they call it cognition, which is another word for realization. And the realization that you get when you realize you're clear is that you made it all up. so I was kind of at that point. So I said, I don't need to do this, I'm clear already. And at that point my progress on the bridge was actually stopped, because they had to look into what I was saying and check it out and so on. So that's as far as I got. I'm going to ruin the lives of any Scientology people listening to this, because the end result of the last Scientology course is when you realise, now I know who I'm not, and I'm interested in finding out who I really am. I mean, whoa. I was like that when I got in, you know. So basically, it is like a complete full circle. You start off interested in who you are and finding out about yourself, and that's how you end up as well. So I mean, it's a complete waste of time. And it's not a bridge, it's like a ladder that you go up and then fall off the end. So, you know, it's pretty horrible.
Yeah.
And it was set up that way on purpose, I believe, as well. So,
Yeah. Like when you were in Scientology, were you aware of like, the criticism that the church had received? Or
good question. Funnily enough, I'd always been a reader of William Burroughs. And I knew that William Burroughs had dabbled in Scientology. And I also knew that he was quite critical of it.
Yeah.
So, yes, I was aware of criticisms. But like I said, you don't see anything that you can object to. Everything's acceptable.
Yeah.
So that kind of lets you, you put your guard down. And, So yeah, I was aware of criticism. And, we were definitely abused by people on the streets if they knew we were Scientologists.
Yeah.
I worked in what's called Division 6, which is the public division. And our job during part of the day was to stand outside the building asking people to come in for the free personality test, and we did get some abuse.
yeah.
So I was aware of it, definitely. And it actually made me more of a Scientologist, all that kind of stuff.
Yeah. Did you ever participate in the attacker policy, or were you ever involved in it?
Not really. What, as a Scientologist, you mean?
Yeah,
Did I ever?
Yeah.
No, but I certainly thought less of people who were attacking Scientology, definitely. But I didn't get involved in anything personally.
Yeah.
See, the interesting thing is, like in Scientology, you're not allowed to talk about bad things. So even if you did have someone in your family who was critical, you're actually not allowed to talk about that. Whereas normal people would meet together over a cup of coffee and chat, Scientologists actually don't do that. They keep their emotions in check and they keep their thoughts in check. They're like controlled robots, basically. So even though you might have thoughts and opinions, you keep them to yourself because you're afraid that, when you get on the e-meter, which is like a lie detector, that all this stuff will come out, so you don't want secret thoughts, do you know what I mean? You want to, no, that's dangerous.
Yeah. So what are your opinions? Do you have an opinion on the attack policy, or
I think it's disgusting.
Yeah.
They basically attack people that they consider to be suppressive persons or antisocial persons.
Yeah.
And the truth is, if you look at it, Scientology is actually probably the most antisocial movement that you think of. A friend of mine describes it as, he was asked, why do you attack Scientology? Why don't you attack the Catholic Church or whatever? And he said, because of all the organisations I know, nobody will ruin your life more thoroughly in every area, financially, mentally, spiritually, emotionally, socially, and he just rattled off a list of things, and it's absolutely true.
Yeah.
They'll take your money, your family will be denied you, your friends will go, your social circle will go, your mental health will definitely go, because my personal belief is that Scientologists are absolutely bloody crazy. They're insane.
Yeah.
It was an Australian judge who said it. I think it was Justice Anderson who said that Scientologists were deluded and often insane. I thought that was harsh when I first read it. Now I actually agree with him. He's right. They're nuts. But it takes something to admit that.
Yeah. So, have you ever when you were in Scientology, did you have any family that weren't in Scientology?
Yeah, my parents were against it, and other family members never got involved. They never said whether they were for it or against it, but the fact that they didn't get involved probably means they were against it. My brother is still a Scientologist, even though he's left the Sea organisation now. He won't speak to me because I criticise it, and he's told me that he will speak to me if I stop criticising it. I think that's blackmail, and it's not going to happen. As long as Scientology is a fraudulent criminal organisation, I will speak out about it, and it's that simple.
Yeah. So, have you experienced disconnection?
Oh yeah. My brother won't speak to me.
Yeah.
And I've also experienced fair game where they make stuff up about you and spread it around in the hope that, in the hope that mud sticks. I gave a talk in a school last May. Actually, how much